look at positioning of the brand, essentially we're talking about two things. Either its attributes, what are its functional benefits, or its personality. And so here are examples of brand personality. Excitement. What product gets you excited? Well, Tesla. Something new, the electric car, the future, and everything else. Another type of personality you can go for is competence. Who is it that you can count on? State Farm. Are they the guys who are like a good neighbor? I forget. Anyway, for that kind of product, that's the kind of personality you want to exude. What about something that's sincere? Diapers, yes. I'm trusting you to be on the butt of my baby. But it comes across as being sincere, that they care about your child. What about sophistication? BMW, the ultimate driving machine. And finally, what's rugged, what's tough and strong? And that's Under Armour. But as you can see, when you start to talk about your products, what is your personality? Do you have a brand or are you bland? And that was, again, what we saw the problem with the cell phone. In the cell phone business, it's become so commoditized that none of them have any personality in it all. And instead you get these really long, boring commercials, which was based on, or else I use music from the 1980s. I used to think I was so cool, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, how cool can you be with one of your favorite songs is being played on an AT&T commercial? Anyway, in terms of big ideas, these are examples of big ideas. You could do a musical. Actually, eBay in the early days did little musical numbers. The thing about musical numbers is a music and a tune is something you can remember in your head. This is why so many products have little sounds. Or the State Farm, like a good neighbor, State Farm was there. What do? They sing it. No, I am not going to sing for you. I have the raw... actually, my mother was an opera singer. She was also a music teacher. But I did not inherit any of her ability. I had the raw singing talent of John Wayne. Anyway, so in terms of big ideas, here are the different approaches you could take, whether it's scientific proof, testimonial, fantasy. Some examples: Virgin Airlines, light doesn't come to you, so go to it. Cisco, okay, this is incredibly long. And it's actually really boring, and it's a bad message. The thing is, when you talk to Cisco employees, the way they view their company is, we connect everyone in the world. But from one person to another person, you have to go through Cisco equipment to get to them. That's much better. Pfizer, we believe that a life not defined by disease is a life of possibility. I don't know if I like that so much. It's kind of negative. But in terms of the spectrum of how you go about communicating, personality-wise, one-on-one is the most intimate. On the other hand, what we see is there are a lot of other different approaches where we can reach a lot of people, which are less personal. And then there are the things somewhere in the middle, where you can actually talk to a person, but you're still going after mass market, but it's a bit more intimate. And what you see is, what is the trade-off between impersonal and personal? We're getting to richness and reach again. See, I told you everything in this class kind of folds on itself. In terms of spending, we have to think about what is it that we want to do in media. For example, it's a no-brainer if you have enough money to just, go do TV or something like that, and you have a mass market product. On the other hand, if you have a very specific product, maybe you advertise on the Sci-Fi Channel or whatever. But what it comes down to is you have to think about this journey, the probability that they're going to be aware of it, et cetera, et cetera. And so, how often are you going to have to send those messages out, and how much is it going to cost you? The thing is, today, mobile is the big space. Mobile is growing hand over fist. And why is it growing so much? Well, the reason why is, number one, your phones continue to get larger, so the display experience begins to approach a computer. Not only that, but internally, the processors and everything else are getting better. And because this technology has gotten better, a lot of your habits are based on your phone. That essentially, you do your searches on your phone. When you're out and about and you suddenly need something, you go to your phone. And so this is the easiest way to contact you, because more and more we make our decisions based on what we do on our phone. Well, if mobile and digital is a big hot thing, why is print still hanging around? Okay, two different ideas here. Number one, remember, ebooks still only has about 28 to 30% of the market. People still visually like looking at things. Second, magazines are very targeted. If I want to sell a new gun, do I advertise in People magazine? No, I advertise in Guns and Ammo. If I have a new nerd toy for semiconductor engineers, it's Semiconductor International. Well, I think Semiconductor International went under, but you get the idea. And this is why print still hangs around. Here's an example of some spending metrics on the long-term ROI based on the money spent. We talked about elasticity. What's my change in volume versus my change in ad spending?